For the next point, it's really interesting. Chrissy brought up some actions against the Lebanese youth in Sydney and said, look, this is your youth. I mean, this is what they get up to. They're criminals, they rob, they thieve, they do this. Exactly how does that disprove Islam? I mean, how does it disprove Islam, Chrissy? If a Muslim that commits a crime, how does that disprove the religion? I don't understand. Where exactly in the Islamic jurisdiction does it say, go and steal? Where exactly in the Islamic jurisdiction does it say, go and commit murder? In fact, the verses I brought in the beginning of this video actually prove that Allah does not permit murder. And of course, Chrissy says, oh look, your Islamic Sharia says, chop the hand off. Exactly. It actually says, do not steal. And if you steal, this is exactly what will happen. Again, how does that disprove Islam, Chrissy? You're bringing me a criminal that goes against Islam, and the Islamic teaching says, do not do this, or this is what will happen. And this is the most interesting part. Chrissy is now suggesting that there are no Australian criminals. I mean, the last time I checked, an Australian man threw his baby daughter off the Westgate Bridge. It just happened recently. He threw them off a Westgate Bridge. So should we now, according to Chrissy, go and label the whole Australians as terrorists, as criminals? I mean, no person will take you seriously, Chrissy. You have a very confined box that you live in. I'm not too sure. Do you completely shut yourself off? Maybe you're just programmed to do what you want to see and completely ignore the rest. The man that massacred, remember Port Arthur? Yeah, that man right there on the video. That man. He's not a Muslim, is he? Actually, is he a Muslim? Maybe he is. I'm not too sure. Do you think he was reading the Quran? You know, when he went and massacred all those people, what was it, 30, 40, 50 people, he shot them all dead. Maybe he was reading the Quran. Maybe he read the Quran and he went and shot those people. Could that be the conclusion? Port Arthur massacre? Chrissy, I'm pretty sure she'll probably say, yeah, he read the Quran and he went and massacred those 40 people. You see, guys, whenever a Christian or an atheist does a crime, like the Port Arthur massacre, he's never labelled as a Christian or an atheist. But when a man has a Muslim name, oh, we will demonize Islam, we will say Islam is a terrorist religion, etc., etc. Just nonsense. Okay, the next point is about the burqa. It's interesting again. Chrissy claims to support a democratic system, democratic way. She brought up in her video several times that it's Muslims who are picking on Australians and on their dress code. Yet now we have the Australians picking on the Muslim dress code, which is again very interesting. Very interesting indeed. And I know Chrissy, in one of her videos, she actually said, or she was making a mockery to say, oh look, you know, if a person wears a burqa, this means this will happen, that will happen, criminal activity will happen, etc., etc. But this is the most bizarre point. Can any person tell me, if we ban the burqa, is Chrissy telling us that criminals will actually walk into a bank without a face covering? I mean, that's what Chrissy is suggesting. How the hell is it going to stop a criminal from going into a bank and putting on a balaclava? How is the ban going to stop this individual? Can Chrissy please explain, maybe in a later video, how banning the burqa will actually stop criminals from robbing banks? I mean, number one, they're breaking a law by robbing a bank, so why shouldn't the same criminals break the law and wear a burqa? Well, maybe Chrissy can explain that retarded position. To further note, Chrissy makes a point about this Muslim lady who was actually pulled over, and God knows what happened. Who knows, was she harassed? Many non-Muslims actually get harassed by police officers. They get treated unjustly. It happens all the time. You know, this is the interesting part. She brings this point to say, well, this is Islam, she's not complying with the law, etc., etc. But this is the point. Can there be alternatives made for Muslim women who actually wear the burqa? Of course. I mean, are there alternatives by separating the sexes in this country? Yes, there is. That's why you have boys and girls' toilets. You see? There is no problem if a Muslim woman was requested by a female staff officer to take off her hijab, where she can expose her face, her identity. But of course, no. We will not give Muslims alternatives. Can they give Muslims alternatives? Yes, they can. Can they make room for alternatives? Yes, they can. Do we have female staff officers in this country? Yes, we can. Could the police officer say, can you please follow me to the police station and I'll get a female staff to look at your identity? Could that be made available? I'm pretty sure 100% it can. But of course, their agenda goes beyond that. Their agenda is not to give Muslims alternatives. It is to completely demonize the faith. It is completely to oppress Muslim women. And this is their whole agenda. Their whole agenda is to blow things out of proportion and then hit it out of whack and then present it to make a real issue out of it. But it's not a real issue. I mean, for hundreds of years, Muslim women have had the burqa, and just in the 21st century, it's starting to raise a problem? Or is the problem because you're afraid of the Muslim identity? Is that your problem? I think it is. In Chrissy's next point, she claimed that a Muslim woman was actually murdered by her husband. And how does that disprove Islam, Chrissy? That a Muslim man, supposed to be devout, he committed a crime against Islam? How does that disprove Islam, Chrissy? So Chrissy is suggesting there are no atheist murderers who commit crimes against women. There are no Christians who commit crimes and murder women. No. Actually, you know, it's interesting. In America, a Christian priest actually killed his wife, put her body in a freezer. Let's listen.
A beloved pastor's wife turns up dead in the freezer for years. He's been telling people she died in childbirth. Take a listen.
Released a court document, the affidavit that led to the search warrant that led to the police finding that body in the freezer. Apparently, a female relative had been being raped by this pastor since she was 11 years old, according to the document, and Arletha Hopkins, the wife, caught him in the act in the bathroom in 2004. And they had an argument after which he presumably killed her. According to the court document, he, the next morning, asked her to help him hide her body in the freezer. That was in 2004. So apparently the mother's been in there since 2004.
Now seeing that image of a Christian man killing his wife and stuffing her in a freezer, can I now go out and label Christianity as a terrorist cult? Well, apparently I can, according to Chrissy. And can I also label all atheists as democratic criminals because of the Port Arthur massacre done by an atheist? Can we do that? Oh, but wait, you will say, oh, he's not an atheist. You'll say, can you prove it? You see, guys, an atheist is in stealth mode. When an atheist criminal does a crime, he's never labeled as an atheist, but when a Muslim or a Christian person does a crime, they're quickly labeled as an Islamic terrorist. Amazing. The Muslims and Islam goes to trial, but when an atheist does a crime, oh, we won't label our democratic system who that atheist actually follows and subordinates himself to. No. We won't do that. And surprise concludes. Chrissy at the end of the video puts a ban on the Quran. Now, I'm wondering, is Chrissy really a believer in democracy? I don't know, because the last time I checked, democracy allowed the Quran. But Chrissy doesn't seem to follow democracy anymore. Maybe she follows the nationalistic party of Hitler, where she wants to ban the burqa, ban the Quran, ban the Islam, and ban the mosques. Amazing. Chrissy wants to ban the mosques, the Muslim prayer, but she's a believer in democracy. Chrissy then said, 99% of true Aussies support the diggers serving overseas, as I do, but some don't support the cause, but this does not support anything that Australia does. Only a small percentage of diggers are involved in fighting. Most are in support roles of helping rebuilding the countries they are. Do you notice the justification? Oh, we only have a small margin of Australian soldiers who are fighting against the so-called weapons of mass destruction that costed 500,000 Iraqi lives, right? But you know, the justification is we have Australian Bob the Builder in Afghanistan and Australian Bob the Builder in Iraq, just building the country. Oh yes, I understand. You bomb the hell out of Iraqis and Afghanis, and then you say, okay, we will start building the country. Subhanallah. So we will bomb them, destroy the place, and then we will just build it. And it's only a minority of Australians fighting. Oh, really, Chrissy? Are you talking about the minority, like these ones? Okay, this is Australian soldiers kill Afghani children. They actually killed 5 Afghani children. Let's listen to the story.
To hear a version of events from the Afghan side. This is Zahir Khan, and inside are his wife and his children. Khan says his sister-in-law next door heard the commotion and thought there were thieves at his house.
You notice what happened? You know, these Bob the Builder Australians, they just rock up. Maybe they wanted to build a house, so they threw grenades, 5, 6, 7, 8 grenades into the house, killing 5 children. Yes, Chrissy, we know which Bob the Builder they are. Yes, you know, maybe they work for Gorolo Constructions, and they were sent over to Afghanistan to, you know, build an Afghani home, you know, by throwing some grenades in there. And finally, this is the last point I would like to conclude with. Chrissy says, you burn our flag, we burn your Quran. Do you see the inconsistency in that statement? exactly where was this a religious war against Australians? Where was it a religious war? Where did they say it's Islam versus Christianity or Islam versus your secular system? Where did those bunch of yous claim it was a religious war? It is you who is claiming it's a religious war. If you want to burn the Quran, you're inciting that this was religiously inspired, but it wasn't religiously inspired. Only in your imagination, Chrissy. If they burn your flag, which is the Australian flag, and my flag, then go and burn their flag, which is a Lebanese flag. What has this got to do with the Quran? What has it got to do with the... Oh, I understand. It's your agenda against Islam. Right? Any rational excuse to go and burn the Quran. Well, that's been your agenda throughout your whole videos. Thank you.
في سبيل الله قد سرنا وأعلنا